Welcome to Second Take, the show that focuses on the issues behind the news. Mining Weekly editor Martin Creamer joins me today to unpack the latest news in the mining industry. Welcome, Martin.
Thanks, Ashni.
Can you start off by telling us about the exciting leadership changes in Copper 360?
Yes, Copper 360 in the Northern Cape, it's got about a dozen operations that it can revive. It's starting with the Rietberg, it's already revived that. They are determined to get everything they can out of that area. And the appointment of Graham Briggs is significant because, he's battle tested, he's a seasoned campaigner. He led Harmony Gold at the time when the gold price certainly wasn't like it is now. So he's going in there, and I think that it's going to be great for South Africa if they can really get this moving in a way that is significant, because we can see that the copper price is destined to do well. At this point in time, obviously it's not, a dripping roast. But at the same time, it's when these prices are down that you've got to get going, so you're ready when things revive. And I think Graham Briggs is very enthusiastic to get in there. So we'll be keeping in touch with him as they progress.
Now, Minerals Council South Africa believes that public-private partnerships are missing from the new draft Minerals Bill.
Yes, we had this draft Minerals Bill. Thank goodness it's draft. That word is huge. And then we also had, the critical minerals strategy, both released together. And what the Minerals Council was saying was that prior to this, they've had lengthy discussions at the highest level. But when they looked at the draft, they can find none of their input. And they were just saying how important it is for government and private sector to align in mining, because we've seen them align, in energy, we've seen them align in transport. Why not mining? This is the industry that can really create a new scene for us if they go about it correctly. And it's direct jobs that are going to be different as well. As he was saying, as you go forward, there's going to be new technology. How we mined in the past was so lacking in skills, actually. They want to change all that. And at the same time, when you look at mining, there's so many other industries that benefit when you start a mine. So they're hoping now they can realign. It seems as though this will happen, and that what was a draft will become a bill that's submitted to Parliament. But at the same time, time is of the essence, and you wonder why there are these delays. The cadastre now, some people are scratching their head as well, because the Canadians that are developing this, they've developed it in grid fashion. And, we've been used to basing prospecting rights and mining rights on farm shapes. Now, this is going to change. One wonders whether you'll ever get a green light, because if you're going to put a grid over what was a irregularly shaped farm, you're going to then have to consult the people around there, because you might have an overlap. So, we were hoping that when you went in there, you would either get a green light or a red light. But it seems now, I hope not, that there could be a predominance of yellow lights, which would hold the thing up. I hope this is not the case. They're going to introduce it first in the Western Cape. They're not going to do it nationally. And as that gets out of SAMRAD and onto the new system, they'll put the other provinces in. Important, again, timing, important, because if they could actually get this right, the amount of investment that would go into exploration would lift our economy. It would be so important, and the delays are really concerning.
And lastly, the word out there is that it is easy to turn grey hydrogen into green hydrogen.
This was something that has been pointed out by a listed company in France, Life. Now, they put their money where their mouth is. I mean, it's unbelievable how far advanced this company is. Not only are they getting the renewable energy from the sea with wind farms, but they actually, even before the pipelines are there, they're transporting the hydrogen, they're getting it to industry. And they're saying, everybody's been so focused on mobility. They're looking at vehicles that are going to not have battery electric vehicles, but they're going to have fuel cell electric vehicles, and looking at refueling stations. And he says that's 23% of the market. But this market that's already there with 100 million tons of non-green hydrogen a year, it's there. It's there to go and take. So why are people hesitating? Because, chemicals and glue and all sorts of products are made using grey hydrogen. And what you do, you change it to green hydrogen. So he says, is there anything easier? And that's also 23% of the market. So he says, the market is there, get going. And which is what they're doing. I mean, they've got projects all over the place. We should look at it because we've got a lot of grey hydrogen, yeah. Now we've concentrated on Sasol, but where else is it? And with Sasol, we know that 2% of the world's grey hydrogen is Sasol. So I think we need to look at it more closely, because Sasol suddenly said, we have no off-takers. But what about their own business? What about their business? Why not green? So I think there are a lot of questions to be asked.
Thanks for speaking with us, Martin.
Thank you, Sashni.
That's it for today. Join us again next week for more news analysis on the local and global mining industries. And don't forget to listen to the audio version of our Mining Weekly daily email newsletter.